Probably fine, Chair. Thank you very much. Can I thank all deputies who've contributed to this debate. I do recognise there are diverse views around the Oireachtas. There's very legitimately held and deeply held views right across this, and I think we have to listen to each other. We have to listen carefully and respectfully to each other. Ultimately, it's important that we do what is right by women in protecting both them and the service providers when accessing healthcare. And that's what this is about. In July of last year, government approved draft legislation to ensure safe access to premises at which termination services are provided or may be provided. And since that time, my department has worked with stakeholders to draft the text of the bill that's before us now. The bill will allow patients, service providers, healthcare staff, members of the public to enter and leave premises without fear of intimidation, without fear of harassment. It will promote dignity and autonomy of individual decisions in relation to healthcare matters and protect them from unsolicited influence. As we conclude the debate here today and move on to committee stage, I'd like to assure colleagues that I have listened very carefully. I've been at all three of the sessions to listen to the views held, and it's been a very respectful debate. I am mindful that some of the concerns raised around certain aspects of the legislation on both sides of this exchange are ones that people do want to be looked at, and I just want to assure colleagues I'm here to listen, and we will reflect on this. Officials from my department have engaged extensively with the Office of the Attorney General and other stakeholders through the drafting of the bill so that the legislation was considered carefully. We will now review the issues raised in the course of this debate, and we will re-engage where that's necessary, where it's appropriate, and I very much look forward to a committee stage to discuss these issues. I do want to reiterate, Cahirlock, that this is a complex area of law, as many colleagues have said, regardless of one's view on termination services. It is complex law, and we are balancing competing constitutional rights here. We've rightfully heard from many contributors to the debate that it's vitally important that women can access lawfully available services without fear, without harassment, without intimidation, and that healthcare providers can provide them. My own long-standing position on this is clear in terms of this legislation and the need for it. It's equally important that the impact of the proposed legislation on the rights of those affected is proportionate to the objectives we seek to achieve. Freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom of association, freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom of conscience and religion are fundamental rights in a democratic society. They are fundamental rights in our society. And Ireland has significant human rights commitments, obligations, domestically in our constitution and internationally. Article 46(1) of Bunreacht na hÉireann provides that the state guarantees liberty for the exercise, subject to public order and morality, of the right of the citizens to express freely their convictions and opinions, and also the right of citizens to assemble peacefully. Similar rights to freedom of peaceful assembly, to freedom of association, to freedom of expression, to freedom of thought, to freedom of conscience and religion are protected by the European Convention on Human Rights, the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. While these freedoms are subject to exceptions, the United Nations has specified that states should establish in law a positive presumption in favour of peaceful assembly. And this means there's a very delicate balance to be struck in this bill, in addressing this. I believe the bill does strike the balance that is required. It acknowledges and it promotes on a proportionate basis the human and constitutional rights involved. It also ensures safe access to termination of pregnancy services for women, service providers and staff across the country. This will be achieved by designating safe access zones of 100 metres from an entrance or exit to a premises where obstetricians, gynaecologists, general practitioners provide services. The bill is not a general prohibition on expression or assembly or protest in relation to termination of pregnancy services. It does not interfere with the right to advocate in favour or against abortion, apart from in the limited areas covered by safe access zones and in the limited fashion covered by the concept of prohibited conduct as set out in Section 2. Furthermore, Section 3 sets out exemptions that may apply in the context of prohibited conduct within safe access zones, and in doing so further acknowledges and promotes the balancing of various rights. The mechanism of the Garda warning also enhances legal certainty and protection of rights and provides the person concerned with the opportunity to avoid committing an offence. In moving the bill forward, we do mark another milestone in advancing women's healthcare in Ireland. I believe we will do so in a way that respects the rights of all concerned. This bill will allow women to access lawful healthcare services without intimidation. It will allow service providers and their staff to provide these services without intimidation. It will allow those who wish to advocate in favour or against abortion to continue to do so, except in the limited circumstances in the bill. So I commend the bill to the House. Garmaga.
Minister. And I now must put the question. And the question is, seeing that the bill being now read a second time. That's right.